From Innsbruck to San Moritz, Sochi to La Plagne, the World Luge Tour goes to some beautiful spots, and perhaps none more beautiful than right here in Western Canada. We're at the Whistler Sliding Center as the 53rd FIL Luge World Championships continue now with a brand new sport at the World Championships, mixed singles. Hi again, everyone. I'm Tim Singer. So pleased for you to join us. We've got 21 teams taking part in this very interesting format. And right now, to tell us a little bit more about the competition, I'm pleased to introduce from Team Austria, a two-time Olympian, Hanna Prock. Hanna, welcome to the microphone.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
Great to have you. Now, you have been competing for about a week and a half on this track now, so tell everyone watching what they need to know, how tough it is, how fun it is, how fast it is.
Yeah, it's a really nice track here in Whistler. Like, it's one of the fastest tracks in the whole world. Today we will drive from the ladies start. It's not the original start from the Olympics 2010, but it's a little bit lower. So we have a few less corners, but it's also a really, really high speed at the bottom of the start of the track. And yeah, I enjoy sliding here.
There's a view of that great graphic, and now we're going to get a little bit of a what we call a POV run, the sled camera. So give us a little tour, Hanna.
Yeah, where are we now? We are on the straightaway to the 9. Now we are in corner 10. Now in 11. This is one of the tricky parts, like you can't be too early or too late in 12. Now with 13, 14, this is also tricky because 15 has to be perfect. And now 16, this is the high speed corner, and now we're in the finish already. And there's the touchpad right there.
Earlier today, Team Austria took the first World Championship of the weekend in mixed doubles. So we'll see and figure, at least, that it will be Germany and Austria again as the favorites here in the mixed singles on what is absolutely spectacular luge weather. Unlike the last few World Championships where we've had some rain, we've had some warm temperatures, this is not too bad, is it?
Yeah, it's great here. Like, we have such a nice weather, and also that the sun is out also means that the track will be maybe a little bit faster today.
We'll see. No track records on the right side of your graphic there because, frankly, they've never had a mixed singles competition here. That will change in about a minute and a half. And here's a look at the lineup. Many of these athletes qualified during the week to represent their countries, and one very unique feature now in this new discipline. It's great to see, Hanna, nations coming together.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's great to have those nations also in a team event. Yeah, will be interesting. I'm most excited for Australia and Switzerland, to be honest.
In terms of a competitive standpoint, right there at number 13, Alex Ferlazzo and Natalie Mogg, they could very well contend for a top 5. That would be a tremendous thing for both of those countries that just don't get a lot of attention like these countries do: Italy, Latvia, Austria, Germany. And they have been the teams that have won basically all of the podium positions in mixed singles. The one exception, the United States, which took a second place at the opening race in Lillehammer. But other than that, it actually has just been Germany and Austria at the first 2 events. So spectators have come from around the world. That is very exciting. A lot of family, a lot of friends, and a lot of luge lovers getting ready on this opening day of the World Championship. And thanks to everyone tuning in on our live streaming on YouTube. We welcome your comments, your questions, and even your criticisms. So let us know as we get ready for the start of the competition. This is going to be fun.
Yes, I'm excited.
So you have not taken part, and this is how new this sport is, in mixed singles, but I believe you have been in some team relays. What are the key things? How is it different from a normal 1 and 2 run race?
Yeah, of course you have a team, like you're not alone, and it's a different feeling. Like, you're with your partner and you need 2 times 2 good runs and not only 1 good run. And yeah, it's great. It's a difference.
Well, we start out with one of those combo countries, Finland and Korea. And starting things off, the men will go first, and it's Walter Vikström. He's a one-man luge team right now for Team Finland. He trains with the FIL team, which is an organization of coaches that helps some of the smaller nations.
The fact that some of the smaller nations can mix to make up a team, where in, for example, the team competition they wouldn't be able to. So this is absolutely fantastic.
It takes a bit of nerve, it takes a bit of courage to be doing this when you're still new to the sport. I'm sure Walter's never competed here in Whistler.
Yeah, I think so too. He's really good. He's doing like a solid run. You can see him like having a little bit his head up, so this always means that he's not 100% sure, but with such nice runs, it's totally fine. He's doing a good job.
And he safely opened up the gate for Korea's Hassan Yong. And sometimes you need to trade a little bit of speed for safety, right, when you're first learning a track. And you don't necessarily going to put your head all the way back.
Yes, of course. When I'm first here at Whistler Sighting Center, I also have my head up. It's just like, you know, you need a lot of training, a lot of safeness, and then you can fully relax.
Finland and Korea. Well, one thing we can guarantee you is in about 3 seconds here, they will have a track record. 125.334. It may not last more than a couple of minutes, but they'll always walk away saying they once held the track record.
Yes, of course, you will always say that. He's happy, looks like.
Yeah, Walter's had a great attitude all week. It's not easy to be traveling all alone from a country that's not going to give you a lot of financial support either.
Of course.
125.334, that's the time to beat, and you'll see the clock runs through both of athletes. Once the pad is hit, the gate opens, the clock of course keeps going. It's a 2-run combined time. Reaction time, very important for the second athlete to go. And here's the first of 2 in a row from Canada, 19-year-old Theo Downey.
I'm sure it's a great feeling to have your World Championships at home. Like, everybody will cheer a little louder for their own country.
Definitely, definitely. And Theo's paired up with Ember Lee Susko, who's coming up next, who's been terrific all week in training. Already 0.2 of a second lead over Finland.
I'm sure he knows exactly where to go at his home track. You can see he's a little bit more confident.
Like you and Eagles, right? It's being at home.
Of course, being at home ice is always great.
To the finish, we'll see Theo. He'll be the first to go on Saturday in the men's singles competition. He just barely gets that pad. Emberly Susko had a top 10 finish here at the World Cup in Whistler last year as an 18-year-old. A lot of people are excited about her potential.
In the last World Cup that was held here, so we know that she can do something special on the Whistler track. She's had a ton of runs here, and she's already almost 1.5 seconds.
Next split time coming up at 1:13. We'll see how much she's opening. She looks like an athlete who knows this track well.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it looks great. Looks like she's having a great run. Also early 16, that's what you want. And also a great exit. That's perfect.
Well, both of them made the pad a little more interesting than it needed to be.
I'm sure that they don't have that much of experience to like hit the pad at the finish, but they will learn, and it was enough, right? So
definitely.
It's good to like sit up at the very last, so you have enough, a better time.
Well, we'll see how long that holds out. It will be interesting, because if they can pick off their teammates and stay out in front of them, then this Canadian duo could actually be in that leader zone for quite a bit of time. Here's Dylan Morse and Trinity Ellis. Still both very young, but both of them also a little more experienced on the World Cup than Downey and Susko.
Yeah, that's why they are Canada 1. Right?
That's correct. Well, I'm not sure if that's correct. It could be that. It could be how they qualified this week.
Sure.
Right. but they did race in the Oberhof event. Canada did not take part in the mixed team event in Lillehammer. What do you think? You think this is a discipline that's here to stay, or at least better than sprint? You did pretty well in sprint. You've been on the podium in sprint, right?
I prefer sprint. I was never at the podium, but I prefer sprint. It was like a little bit faster. I mean, it's nice for the nations to also do a team, but for me, it takes a little bit a long time. You know, it's 40 sleds, 42 sleds.
Right.
But yeah, and sprint was just such a fast event, but yeah, it also has some goods.
Dylan opened up a nice lead.
Yeah.
He's giving to Trinity Ellis here. Trinity with 4 top 20 finishes this year on the World Cup, now 1700s up. And one reason, of course, that they've gone with this format is it equalizes things a little more. You can have men and women competing together, and that's sort of the direction the entire Olympic movement is going.
Here in Whistler, I think it's more like a team feeling because they go from the same start height. But when in Lillehammer, the men were starting from the men's start and the women from the women's start, I think then you don't really have a team feeling. So this was also...
I'm not sure exactly why they did that. By the way, Trinity gave up quite a bit of time to Ember down there at the bottom, but the lead was big enough that this team, Canada 1, takes over the lead.
Yeah, great. I think they can't do it here, to go that the men go from men's start and the ladies from ladies start because of the barricade on the ladies start.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, that's why, I guess.
Well, look, it was very close. Only 9
really,
thousandths of a second separated the 2 Canadian women. So a good showing by both Canadians. And we have our next of the dual nations, Team Japan, teaming up with Team Ireland, leading things off, Seiya Kobayashi, the one-man Japanese team, and Elsa Desmond, the one-woman Ireland team. Seiya trains with the United States throughout the World Cup season.
Second mixed team of this race. This is Team Japan, twinned with Team Ireland.
Now he's out of 7. There is a curve on the straightaway. I don't know why they name it 8, but now he's in 9, now he's in 10. So the straightaway is 8.
Okay.
Not sure about that.
Maybe it's like that little Jenner curve in Königssee, which doesn't look like a curve unless you're on the sled.
Or maybe like the straightaway down from S4 out of Königssee.
Right, and Winterberg has a curve 0, so go figure. Just the little characteristics of all of the tracks.
It's confusing when you're here for the first time. Oh no!
So we have a missed pad by Seiya Kobayashi. That's very unfortunate. Now, it's not unprecedented. Hannah, there are very few races where we don't have 1 or 2 missed pads. But unfortunately for Elsa, all of that waiting, all of that anticipation, and she misses out on this opportunity.
Yeah, it's always like really frustrating at the first.
Yeah, and in the case of these nations, we won't see them in the team relay. So Elsa just missed out on one of her opportunities to race here.
Yeah, that's bad.
So we have our first disqualification as Canada 1 leads over Canada 2. We're only 4 teams into this mixed singles competition. Unfortunate for Japan, Ireland with the missed pad. That's a sight that they love here, the spectators at the World Championship. A leader box with 2 Canadian teams.
Yeah, that's great. It's great to see some came here and cheering for them.
Definitely, there's a good look. Lining the finish area, but there are other areas. The Thunderbird finish corner is a popular viewing spot. Tremendous opening ceremonies last night. There's some fun speeches, some dancing, and it was pretty cold as well.
Yeah, but they did a good job. It was not too long. It was okay.
You missed a great opening ceremonies in Lillehammer, which opened the World Cup. Did you hear about that?
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, it was terrific. We all marched with lanterns. It wasn't by nation. It was just a large group of athletes and coaches and media. And we all went into a cave and then came out in some gigantic modern ballroom.
Oh, wow.
And it was very cool. Okay, here's Team Ukraine and a man that was on the podium earlier this season in team relay, Andrei Manzi, as he on that day teamed up with Yuliana Tanitska and the doubles team for a surprise podium result for Ukraine. Four paddles. So this is not where the men will be starting from on Saturday.
That's true. It's the ladies start, ladies and double start. It's always a little like, yeah, you have to do it a little bit different from down there. So it's definitely not so easy for men, but there's so much less speed, so they can manage it.
That's right, and the men do have the opportunity to do a training run from there to get used to it, but most of them don't exercise that opportunity because they want to make sure they have all of their normal runs, so to speak.
That's true. We had a qualification for the men from lady start, so they did at least one run.
Well, great advantage that Andrei Manzi hands over to Olena Shmaha.
Yeah, he had some little mistakes down at the bottom, but he could manage it not to be too big.
Olena's best result this year on the World Cup, a 23rd place.
2/10 of a second over Team Canada. Let's see what Team Ukraine can do through this tricky portion of the track though.
Team Ukraine looking to boot Canada out, but now losing time and moving into the red. So Canada will live to see another day, perhaps both Canadian teams.
Oh, she just hit out of 16. That's not what he wanted.
Yeah,
those hurt. I also had it last week. I hit them once. That's not good.
The word that your teammate Wolfgang Kendall told me a couple of days ago is that, you know, there's such great speed on this track, and if you've got the lines, it's nothing is better. But you can make mistakes early. If you make mistakes late, like curve 11 on, then it could be a big mistake.
Yes, because when you're like online, then you don't really feel the speed. But when you're offline for a short time, then you really feel that you're going over 130.
As you see there, the green, Andrei Manzi had the big advantage. Olena Shmaha, unfortunately with the errors, falls behind the Canadians. So making their way now to the start area, already on course, Vali Cretu of Team Romania. Just like the sprint, they try to move this race along quickly. I know on a normal World Cup race, Hannah, you have 30 seconds to get started when that green light happens. But it looks like for here, they just kind of move it along.
I think since 2 years or 3 years, you just have 20 seconds.
20?
Yeah.
So and the doubles get 30.
The doubles get 35.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Our coaches, they tell us like a minute, 15 seconds, and then we know it a little better, but because 20 seconds are really not much time.
So Valentin Cretu, who has been around so long, he competed in the Olympics here in 2010. He hits the pad. A little bit of a disadvantage now for Karina Buzatoy.
The run looked also really solid.
Karina with 2 top 20s this season. And those were actually in the last 2 races, so she's making steady progress.
Oh, looks like a nice line.
Good lines all the way, but they continue to lose time. Valentin mentions this a lot to me, that their biggest challenge is to try to keep up with the rest of the world as far as equipment goes.
Yeah, and they are also racing against the Canadians who are there at home, right?
That's exactly right. Beautiful day here in Whistler, Canada. It's about a 2.5-hour drive north of the large Pacific Coast city of Vancouver as the 53rd FIL World Championships continue now with the mixed singles. I'm Tim Singer, along with a 5th place finisher at the last Olympic Games, Hanna Prock, as we move on to Team Poland. Maciej Sokovic will lead things off, to be followed by Klaudia Domaracka. Do you know that Poland has been on the podium in team relay?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a race in Winterberg many years ago. I'm
Oh,
sure
I
you'll
can
remember this.
Yes,
There
of
were
course.
a number of nations that did not race,
Yeah.
which was too bad and unfortunate. There were some track issues, but that didn't lessen how exciting that was for Team Poland to be on the podium.
Of course. I think the Polish team is also doing their sleds with the German, right?
Right, Poland, Switzerland.
Yeah.
They train with Germany. That certainly doesn't hurt.
He had a little rough 14-15, but he managed it really good.
2300s given to Claudia Domaradska. So Claudia on the ice now. She had a 19th place, or she sits actually in 19th place in the World Cup points. And that's like they say in school, as a result of maybe not perfect grades, but perfect attendance, because she's always racing every week.
Yeah, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
Leading a little bit of time at the bottom of the track. So this is going to have to be absolutely
Looks like a good run.
as we see curve 14. That lead is dropping. They're down
A little bit late to 16, but when you steer good, it's not a big problem. Oh!
She made it interesting down there at the bottom, and it may have been regrouping. Poland was in the green for a while, but then we saw that surprise turn to red at the end, and Claudia had to do a lot of steering, right?
Yes, probably the little late 16 was a hard exit of 16, so she had little hits on the wall. But it was only 1100s, and they are already in third position. It's really close.
Absolutely, and I know we're not seeing some speeds sometimes flashing into your graphics, but I can tell you that that was among the fastest speeds so far. It was, in terms of miles per hour, 80.6, so roughly 120 kilometers an hour on a track that sometimes can be the fastest in the world. Now we have our next dual nation, Slovakia teaming up with Argentina. This is Josef Ninnis. And Hanna, Josef not only competed at these Olympics way back in 2010, he actually was in the last Italian Olympics in 2006.
Oh, really?
He was part of that.
Oh, wow. It's almost 20 years.
So actually, between your father and Josef Ninnis, with two people, you have every Olympics from 1984 on.
Yes.
These are two guys that competed for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Ninnis had a memorable podium finish back in 2018 in Sigulda. That was very exciting.
The run is looking good.
Keeping it with 100th of a second, and not surprisingly, this is what Ninnis does well. He finds good speed down at the bottom. And though she represents Team Argentina, and she does it proudly, Veronica Ravenna grew up right here in Whistler. This is de facto her home track.
Veronica Ravenna on her 100, just jumping in for the red. Let's see how much she's going to find in the bottom of the track. She's got about 0.2 of a second on Team
This,
Canada.
I believe, will be the final weekend of racing this year for Veronica, who will not make the trip. And she is actually at that point in her life where she's sort of weighing a luge career versus a career. And that's a tough thing, because everyone wants to be out on the ice.
Of course. Do you know what she's doing besides luge?
I don't know. Something possibly business related. We'll ask her about it before the race. She used to make chocolates, I think.
Okay.
But that was more of a hobby.
That's nice. Okay, yeah.
So the team finishes, and they're currently sitting in 4th place. Yes, Slovakia, Argentina. It's the two Canadian teams still continuing to hold on to their top spots. That could change now, but it's been a good run for Canada 1 and Canada 2. I'm sure you're guessing that will change right now.
We will see. We will see.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Leon had some really great runs in the training, but it was also up and down, he told me.
If Leon and Sandra can do what we expect they're capable of, this should be a leading run at the end. Leon Feldwer, now the athlete representative to the International Luge Federation. Very popular among the athletes and within the entire sport.
Okay, our first
And the Italians have spent many years training on your home track in Innsbruck.
That's true, yeah. Since I'm little, I know that the Italians come to our track. And hopefully they will soon have their own track.
That's what we're hoping. And in case you're wondering, they're still planning to homologate, to test out the Cortina Olympic track in just a couple of months.
It was a little offline, 15-16, but he managed it really good.
Leon Felderer to the pad. Emphatic hit of that pad as Sandra Robacher paddles as if she's a woman without a shoulder injury, but she has been nursing a sore shoulder not only for the last couple of weeks, for the last many seasons.
Yes. I know her only with her shoulder problems, but she says that it's getting a little bit better now again. Oberhof was really bad, so she wanted to be 100% for the World Champs. That's why she didn't want to slide there, and now she's back.
That's
better
right.
than ever.
Several athletes, or a couple of them, also made the same call. So now let's see how big a lead Italy has. Sandra looked beautiful from top to bottom. Really good lines. So 0.3 of a second. And did she grab her shoulder? I don't want to see that. It looked like
really?
Maybe it was just.
Didn't see it.
No, probably not, because she reached up with that same hand to shake hands with Leon and fist bump. So yeah, let's hope for a healthy Sandra Robacher throughout the weekend.
Yes. That's an early 11, that's what you want, so it looks really good.
So Italian flags flying all over our YouTube chat window. They're all excited as Leon Felderer, Sandra Robacher, USA, or Italy 2 rather, into the lead over Canada 1 and Canada 2. And now the second from Ukraine, Anton Dukash, Juliana Tunitsky. When they both have a good day, they're not in the best 5 in the world, Hannah, but they can sometimes be among the best 10 or 12 in the world. And that's progress for Ukraine.
Yeah, I think they also had a podium on team relay, right?
They did. We mentioned that earlier. And speaking of podiums, this man here, Anton Dukash, didn't have a podium, but I believe he had a 7th place or 8th place finish in Sigulda earlier this season.
Yes,
That's their home track.
It was his best result, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, he's having a good season so far. Also looks really clean. The run was really good.
So Dukash opens the gate with a 9/100ths advantage over Juliana Tunitska. Tunitska still just 21 years old, although it seems like she's been on the World Cup now for about 10 years. She started actually when she was 16 for the first World Cup race. I like to say she rivals Tatiana Ivanova when it comes to the long hair contest in the circuit, right? That's a lot to tuck into that helmet.
Yes. Maybe they need to size up the helmet for the hair.
Right. That wouldn't be aerodynamically
smart.
smart.
It's red. Oh.
4th place finish behind Italy and the 2 Canadians. Anton seems pleased with it. Right now, Ukraine sitting in 4th and 7th place. 9 have come down, 12 still to come, and 12 very strong teams still ahead, including both Austrians and both Germany teams, the 2 pre-race favorites.
I'm excited for the next team.
Next up, we have a pair of siblings from Team Sweden. And so we pay off Anton Dukash with the nicest men's run so far in this competition. Good to see. Standing behind is Koala Tova, and in front, her brother Svante Koala. Not only do they represent Team Sweden, not only do they both come off of their best World Cup results last race in Oberhof, they each finished 11th, but they have the good fortune, Hannah, of training with your teammates, with Austria.
Yeah, it's so great that that they are in our team. It's always fun to talk to them, and yeah, I really like them. Let's go.
14th place and 9th place in the 2 prior World Cup mixed singles events for these 2 Swedes. Would you say this is a Swede run so far?
Yeah, Svante had a little problems in 13 and his head is a little high, so maybe he doesn't feel so confident. But the exit 16 was good.
And it may be the track for Svante. He did not have a good training day yesterday in the qualifying for their seated areas.
Yeah, I think it's their first time here in Brazil, so it's hard to not have so many runs and being here for the first time. So they're doing a good job.
Split time now better than a half second off the pace, so Sweden probably looking at a 5th or 6th place if Tova can keep it clean the rest of the way down.
She also told me she has some ups and downs in training runs, so I'm sure she's happy to have another run today. Yeah, looks good.
To the finish, getting ready to hit the pad, and she does it without a problem. 8th place for Sweden. Tova and Svante so supportive of one another. They have great attitudes every week. Sweden has, it's not an unknown history. There have been Swedish athletes over the years, and some good ones. And I actually hear, I don't know if you know this, Hannah, they're thinking of maybe building a track in Sweden.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
Somewhat at first like the Blue Dance track, where it would be a shorter junior track.
Okay.
But with the possibility to make it longer.
Okay.
So that will be interesting to follow.
This is interesting, yeah.
We have 2 American teams here in the World Championship mixed singles competition. Tucker West has a good history on this track. One of his World Cup victories was here. An evening race in the snow many years ago, I believe 2017. He's teaming up with Ashley Farquharson.
Close at the start.
They finished 5th yet. Did you say good start?
Close at the start.
Yeah.
The right wall was so close.
Oh, okay, because a good start is usually what Tucker is known for.
Yeah, I'm sure the start was good, but it was just close on the wall. He managed it good. Oh, I like his head position. It's really back. It's great.
So Tucker, 800s up. Leon Felderer was very slick down here, and Tucker doesn't look like he has the best line going into 16.
Oh no, it was not the best line. It was on the right side, he should be on the left side, but somehow it was okay.
So 400's a bit of a hard settle, but now on course is Ashley Farquharson, falling briefly now into the red. Ashley with a breakout season with 5 top 8 finishes on the World Cup, although she's the first to admit she's still looking for some consistency week to week.
As I prophesied, 7 thousandths of a second in the lead now. Ashley Farquharson carrying her victory through the Gold Rush track into curve 14. Beautiful curve 14. Let's hit it nice and high.
That looks nice. That's where you want to. Ooh, there was a little skid at the beginning of 16. Oh wow.
So that
so
cost them everything.
Yes.
What it appeared, Hannah, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, would have been about a 1/10 of a second lead.
Yes.
Got
at
all
least
thrown away with the problems down at the final outrun.
Yeah, I never seen anybody going too early into 16, but I guess that's what happened to Ashley. And then she just had a big skid, and that's hard to manage.
For the time being, it's a 2nd place time, 100th of a second off of the lead from Italy, number 2, as the Americans are the 12th of 21 teams in today's competition, making it down. Now here's one that the whole world is interested in. It's the combination of Australia and Switzerland. Waiting on deck, Natalie Mogg for Team Switzerland. She won a podium at last year's World Championships and at the last World Cup this season. Alex Ferlazzo with a career best 5th place finish at last year's World Championship. 2 very solid athletes from 2 one-person countries in the sport of luge.
He was a little hectic at laying down, but he could avoid touching the wall. But now he's a little behind.
Alex has no less than 10 family and friends who have made the 30-hour trip from Australia to Whistler to celebrate the World Championships.
Yeah, that's crazy. Once around the world.
Okay, 1800s, he did it, his job down at the bottom. Let's see what Natalie Mogg can do now. Team Switzerland. As I mentioned, she was on the podium at the last World Cup race in Oberhof. She trains with Team Germany.
Wow, it's exciting stuff, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? That's Australia and Switzerland still in the league. This
Looks really good. Looks like a really good run.
with Alex Palazzo, one of the home athletes here in Whistler, training so much.
Will it be a podium run? We certainly don't know, with Latvians, Austrians, and Germans still to come. But it looks like she's having trouble down there. This is becoming a bigger challenge than we thought. Natalie knew it.
Yes,
she knew she gave away something down there at the bottom. Nonetheless, it's first place right now for Team Australia, Switzerland.
Of course, it costs a little bit, but it was all like straight, no skidding. But of course, you're not happy with that line.
Switzerland, no stranger to World Championship podiums, as I mentioned, although they always have small teams. Natalie took the podium in the sprint. Martina Koch, I think, won 2 podiums in 2 consecutive years at the World Championships in the sprint. Yeah, Natalie made it interesting down below.
It was close. It was close, yeah. But they look really happy. It's good to see.
Australia, Switzerland combo leading over Italy and the United States. And here's the second of the USA teams. They finished on the podium at the World Cup opener, these two, in Lillehammer. Leading things off, Johnny Gustafsson. Johnny will be followed up by Emily Sweeney.
Really concentrated face from Emily and from Johnny.
Johnny won the qualifying race yesterday. Everyone qualified, but that race was a seeded qualifying to determine their start positions in Saturday's men's singles race. He was the winner, so that indicates that he's probably comfortable on this track.
I think they've been here for training pre-season.
And Jim Murphy just writes in, let's go Johnny, the team of Johnny and Emily. Love it.
That's very good.
Well, Johnny with the early advantage now over Alex. Alex had some issues up top before cleaning it up down below, so this will be interesting to see. It was 300s, and now at this split, Hannah, let's see how he's trending.
That's great. He's gaining some speed.
Gaining speed, gaining time. That speed, by the way, 82.3 miles per hour. He hits it with a 500th of a second advantage over Emily Sweeney. I say this every week. Emily's a lot like you, Hannah. When she's fast on the bottom part of the track, she's as fast as anyone. And Emily's starts have improved. She was in podium position at a World Cup here last year before falling out in the second run. But look, she's opening up a big lead on Natalie right now.
Big lead, yeah. And that's what I wanted to say. Compared to me, she's a better starter.
Okay, well, you're working on it.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
getting
working
there.
on it. That's true.
A never-ending chore. So Emily Sweeney, she even has a light tap down there at the bottom, but cleans it up a lot more quickly. But we've seen 3 in a row. We've seen Ashley, we've seen Natalie, and we've seen Emily. You can tell by their facial reactions. They were so close, but maybe they gave a little away at the bottom. She seems pleased, though.
Yeah, they look so happy. That's great to see. Yeah, the curve 16 is also like a really difficult part from this track because you're so fast. So all the steering has to be perfect.
The United States won out in front. As I mentioned, they were on the podium at the opening World Cup race with a second place finish in Lillehammer. Now we get set for a Latvian team, each of whom are looking for their first podium of the season. The focus on the face of Gintz Berzinch. Gintz, a former Youth Olympic gold medalist. He'll team up with Kendia Apariod, waiting there, and then waiting on double deck on the left side of your screen, Italy's Dominic Fischnella.
I was happy for him that Oberhof went well this year. I think he's having a hard season. Oberhof was a little bit better for him.
For Gintz?
Yes, for Gintz.
Yeah, Latvia in general. Christers had the victory on the home track. They all did very well. And the women's doubles teams have had some podiums. Martins and Roberts. But singles has been a different story. Really has been.
I think Christos went second in Sigulda, right?
Who's that?
In Sigulda, Christos?
Oh, maybe second, right.
Yeah, because Nico won.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nico was the first man after my dad winning in Sigulda again.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
right? That's why I have you here, Hannah, to correct me.
No, it's fine.
Well, Gintz opening up the lead right now over Johnny Gustafsson. That's a good sign for him, for Latvia today, and for Gintz on this track. Clearly, he's comfortable here.
Was also really early on 16. But he could manage it a little bit better than Ashley.
Lost a little bit, so 0.05 of a second for the paddles, and the fairly smooth settle now for Kendia Apariod. Kendia was partners with her brother Christers at the opening World Cup race in Lillehammer, and then teamed up with Gintz at the last race in Oberhof.
Kendia Apariod, you're a bit better time here with 0.3 of a second back. So Latvia is going to have to put the turbo through the front.
Still another Latvian team to come.
She's having a good run so far as well.
To the finish, this will be a third place result, 0.4 of a second. USA stays out in front. The combo team of Australia and Switzerland still in second place. And this Latvian team sits in third right now, keeping in mind we still have one Italian team, one Latvian team, 2 Germans, and 2 Australians to come in this opening, first ever World Championship mixed singles competition. Still ahead tomorrow. We have the doubles, women's doubles and men's doubles, as well as the women's singles competition. The World Championships will conclude on Sunday with men's singles and the team relay. But still a lot of drama to build now as this mixed singles competition winds down to the final nations, the ones whom we figure will be competing for the podium. And Dominic Fischnella now to lead the way for Italy #1, teaming up with Verena Halfa. Dominic, a one-time World Cup overall champion. He won the season's title back in 2021. And then followed that up with an Olympic bronze medal. Not sure what the holdup there was, but that can be a little unnerving for an athlete when it's a longer wait than you expected.
Yeah, that's true. Especially when it's so cold outside and you already put your visor on. Sometimes it's freezing.
Fog up.
Yeah.
And we should note that new this year, and you haven't been part of a team relay yet this year, Hannah, but if you make it to the relay, you'll have the gate. And the women have never had the gate to start the relay.
That's true. That's true. So that's a whole different scenario for us. We are not used to that. But we already knew it, so we trained it a little bit in summer.
Already 1/10 of a second the lead for Fischnella, who makes fewer mistakes perhaps than anyone in the sport. So Dominic now down to the bottom. He's going to love that. He lost a little time down there at the bottom. But for these athletes, not only do they want to compete for top 5s here, they really want to see how well they might be doing on the weekend, how their confidence will be going into the racing tomorrow and Saturday.
The run was really good from Dominic and also from Verena so far. So she's losing a little bit of time. Of course, Emily also had a really good run as well, so will be hard.
Italian women have had trouble making it into the top 6 or 7 in races this year. There haven't been many occasions. So it's a bit of a rebuilding still for Team Italy for the women. And losing quite a bit of time down at the bottom, Verena Hoffer puts Italy in a 3rd place seeding right now. So the top 5, USA 1, Australia, Switzerland combo team remains in 2nd place. Then Italy 1, Latvia 2, and Italy 2. As Hannah and I turn our pages over on our start lists here, now we're seeing a lot of names who have won races this year. So that's going to be potentially where the race is won and lost. And sometimes, Hannah, this late in any race, you start wondering about the track and how well it's holding up. I don't believe that's an issue today. What do you think?
I also don't think so. It's minus 14 degrees outside,
Right,
I guess, minus 12. So, and the sun is shining a little bit. So, yeah, I don't think that the track is losing time. Maybe after 40 sleds a little bit, but not that
Right.
much.
And we will actually have 42 sleds by the time this run is done.
Mm-hmm.
But here we go with Krister Zapriots, another Latvian, another former youth Olympic gold medalist. Krister's a 5-time winner on the World Cup, and a lot of those wins, as I mentioned earlier, were on his home track, but Krister has put in some good results. That's one thing, Hannah, that's fun about being here in Canada. When we race in Canada or Switzerland or Norway, for example, those 3 countries come to mind, there is no home field advantage, really. I mean, obviously the Canadians do well, but it levels the playing field. You know, when you're in Austria or in Germany or in Latvia or in the USA, those countries' athletes are going to do well.
Oh,
but
yeah.
here, you don't know who's going to do well.
Yeah, also, like, the Europeans don't have so many runs here.
That's
so
right.
that's why it will always be interesting. Yeah.
Earlier today, Austria won in the mixed doubles. Latvia trying to make a run for the podium here, trying to pick off the USA. The United States has held the top spot for a while. It's tight, 100th of a second. Alina Bota, the only woman not named Talbot's or Egla to win a World Cup race in women's singles this year. She's on course now. She's always very fast at the start. She has the 2nd fastest start time, and just like that, she puts Latvia into the green.
Wow, this will be so close.
Emily Sweeney picked up her speed down below, and as you see, that's reflected in the comparison now with Latvia. Down to the bottom part of this truck. It looked like some pretty good driving there for Alina, although she lost nearly a 1/4 of a second, or better than a 1/4 of a second, on Emily Sweeney down below, as the USA stays out in front. What would you attribute that to? Setup? I mean, was that good driving?
Probably setup, I guess. I mean, now the Latvians, I think they like cold ice, but yeah, Emily had such a great run, and it's hard to gain on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what Martins Rabenis was telling me yesterday. He sets up these sleds for Team Latvia. Wow, Elena made that close with the pad. He said he loves the cold weather. So we'll see how that holds out. USA still in front. They've held the top spot for a while now, but now we have our final 4 teams. They're the 2 most powerful nations and the 2 teams that have owned the World Championships over the past couple of seasons. So we'll see first what Austria 2 can do. It's the Olympic champion, David Gleicha, teaming up with the World Cup leader, Madeline Egla.
Yeah, let's go.
This is a big opportunity for David, who really has, despite that Olympic gold medal, he has been kind of sitting in 4th in the depth chart, with Jonas, Nico, and Wolfie having the better results.
Yeah, David is having some hard time on finding speed, especially this week as well. But from the lady start, he was the 2nd fastest man, so he can slide now.
David's brother Nico coming up in a moment. Their father Gerhard, a former World Cup winner, is on hand here in Whistler, making the trip from Innsbruck.
Yeah, it's so great. I think almost every parent from our team is here.
That's amazing.
It's really great.
I think, yeah, Lisa said her parents are here, Madeline and Selena. So let's see if David can hold on. Johnny Gustafson of the USA and Emily Sweeney were both very fast at the bottom part of the track.
David is having a really good run. It looks like the setup is also right.
400ths was the lead at the last split. Needs to hit this pad cleanly, and he does, losing a little time to Johnny Gustafson. But now we have the World Cup leader, a 3-time winner this season, Madeline Egla. Second fastest start time.
That's great. That's good for her.
Now, if she does what any Egla does, we'll see this turn green pretty quickly at the next split. 600ths at this point.
Carry this speed to try and get something out of this run.
The run looks really good.
And move ahead of the United States.
This is interesting. This has been a trend, Hannah, the last several sleds. We've seen time slow down at the bottom.
I'm not sure where this time went. I'm really not sure. Emily had a great run.
And we saw the same thing from Alina Bota just a moment ago with Latvia.
That's true.
Emily absolutely had a great run.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, she can be as fast as anyone. So the USA still holds the top spot and now is just one position away from the podium. This is at stake here, the first ever World Championship in mixed singles. Madeline looks pretty relaxed and her run looked pretty good, but the reaction from Johnny and Emily tells it all. One position away from a USA podium.
They say Bastio. He's like, it's okay.
I still think that she'll be in that short list of favorites tomorrow in women's singles.
Of course. Madeline has such a good start time, and the track is really short, so this will really help her.
All right, here in Whistler at the World Championships, the race for the podium starts right now. I'm Tim Singer along with Team Austria's Hanna Prock. The United States leads the way over Austria too, but now the first of 2 German partnerships to conclude this competition. And this is an interesting pairing. David Nussler, looks like he's being iced here for a moment, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. But David is, he's being matched up with Merle Frebel. They are 2 of the younger members of this deep German team. And you see that foot up there on the handle.
Yeah, he doesn't want to slide down too early.
That's right. And in case you haven't been following the World Cup, shame on you. But if you haven't, David broke his leg 3 weeks ago in Altenburg, a month ago now. He still walks with an air cast on crutches, but that's not going to affect his confidence or his abilities here. He earned his spot here in the mixed singles.
It looks like he was a little stressed at the start. Maybe they didn't really know when to start.
Was that, oh, so.
He got the green light a little early.
Okay, well, you know that Patrick Leitner will be right on that for the protest if that's the case, the Germany head coach.
I'm not sure if he saw it right.
Maybe we'll get another look at that, but it was interesting what was happening there at the top, because it seemed like David had to wait a long time. Now he's having problems, and that is just going to be not only a disqualification for Germany, but you've got to wonder about his foot, Hannah.
This looks so painful.
This is just, it could not have been a worse situation, and I feel badly for Merle, who has a good track record here. The USA has made it onto the podium, so they might be celebrating, but it's somewhat of a restrained celebration down here at the bottom.
He tried to hold his foot up to not hit the wall, but I think it didn't work. So it looks like he's standing up.
Which is good. Again, it's a disqualification. This is a young German team that they fielded for this World Championship race, but David with a broken
You see his
foot. He's
foot?
doing everything he can to protect it, and I think he did as well as he could.
He tried. He tried even to touch the pad, but
it's great athletic instinct, though. He knew. Unfortunate. It's the second disqualification, and again, these two, Johnny Gustafson and Emily Sweeney, know that they have won a podium for the United States, but everyone in the family of luge feels for each other.
Of course, you don't want to win like that. Of course, you're happy to win, but to see this, it's frustrating.
So again, this injury, in case you're just tuning in, is not new. David was competing with broken bones in his foot. We've seen that happen. In fact, we've seen athletes win podium positions with broken feet. The courage and athleticism of all of you lugers is so amazing, Hannah.
Yeah, it's also, you don't want to miss any race just because you're injured.
That's right.
But I learned it this year that it's better to just wait until you're fully fit again. But for the World Champs, you want to try everything.
So the USA in the lead, the United States on the podium. One more from Austria, one more for Germany. These are four solid athletes who are almost never out of the top 5 on the World Cup. Nico Gleischer teaming up with Lisa Schulte. They finished 3rd 2 weeks ago in Oberhof. Nico with 2 wins this year in men's singles on the World Cup. He's currently in 2nd place in the point standings.
Yeah, I think he had such a great season until now. He can be really, really proud.
Nico's brother David is currently sitting in 2nd place right now with 1 sled remaining after the Austrians.
It looks like he's as fast as David at the moment, like this. A little bit ahead.
And he's smooth up the outrun, so a 500th of an advantage over Lisa Schulte. Lisa, the world champion from a year ago. Interestingly, she's still yet to win her first ever World Cup race, but Lisa has been in the top 5 in every race of the season. I don't think any other athlete on the World Cup Tour can make the same claim.
Yeah, also for her, she had such a great season so far. That's what you want to do, like step by step. Last year it was always top 6. This year it's almost every time top 3. That's great to see.
But losing time to the United States. This right now is a battle between their Austrian teammates for a place on the podium. Lisa Schulte in 4th place. So this is amazing the way this is unfolding, Hannah, and frankly a little bit surprising.
That's really surprising. Like I couldn't see a really big mistake from Lisa. I don't know how her start time, her reaction time was.
Well, it was a 5th best time.
Okay.
And Lisa we've seen just about every of the women's lugers in the last 5 or 6 give perfect lines or close to perfect lines.
Yeah.
Of course, we may be missing some things here.
Yeah, maybe.
On our little monitor, but USA still out in front. They took the lead about 6 teams ago, and they lead over Austria and Latvia. Now, 2 of the best ever are getting ready to go at the top.
Austria 2 already has a medal, right?
That's right.
That's good.
So David Gleischer and Madeline Egla are on the podium, and there's Madeline, David, Johnny, Emily. They'll be celebrating well into the evening. But what positions will they be celebrating? This inaugural mixed singles world championship race boils down to our final pair. Max Langenhahn, the World Cup leader and the defending world champion, looking relaxed as always. Max grabbing those handles. He'll be followed by 30-time World Cup winner Julia Tobitz, the Thuringian and the Saxonian. And Hannah, what impresses me so much about Max is how relaxed and chill he always seems to be.
Yeah, he seems to be really relaxed. Like, maybe that's the big, that's what you need.
This is going to give us our early indication on how much of a favorite Max will also be on Saturday to defend his world championship. He's already a 1/10 of a second up on Johnny Gustafson.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than, that's
now
a lot more.
2/10.
A lot more than the Gleischers did.
I think we're learning that the track is still okay, thank you. It's still yielding some fast times. Gigantic lead, 0.3 of a second. Yulia Tobits now 3 paddles as she makes the long run into hoping to recapture the World Championship. She'll do that tomorrow, but will she win the first ever mixed singles event? This is going to take a big mistake. She's lost some time.
She lost a lot of time, almost half of it. That's what we saw with the ladies.
We have seen this with all of the ladies. Let's see the clock now. Now she's doing what Julia does well. She and Emily are in a league by themselves sometimes down at the bottom of the track. This looks like gold medal for Germany if she hits the pad, and she does.
So close.
Giving up some time down there at the bottom, but in the end, it's Germany with the gold, USA silver, and Austria in 3rd place.
Yeah, she had some mistakes out of 16, but she managed it so good. That's the win for Germany.
And Emily and Johnny with their 2nd podium together of the season. They also took 2nd in Lillehammer, so they're proving to be quite a good team in this new sport.
Yes, it seems like they are like really good together. And it's great to see 3 different nations on the podium. I like that. And I'm really happy that Austria is also one of them, of course.
If you're keeping track for Germany, that's its 53rd all-time gold medal in World Championship competition. Earlier, Austria won its 23rd. And had the USA won that, it would have only been its 3rd ever World Championship. But still, for the USA, that's a great showing in a race that they had high hopes, but probably the experts may have penciled them in 4th or 5th. So what a great result.
Congrats to all the athletes.
Yes, we've seen this before. Julia with the smile, Max with the relaxed attitude. Now they do get the red light, so explain what needs to still happen before they're officially the world champions.
The red light, it means that they have to weigh everything, like body and sled and their gear they have.
To make sure it all fits to weight and
there's
standards.
There's a list you need to follow, and it depends how much body weight you have.
Germany out in front over USA and Austria. Latvia holds down the 4th spot. Great showing, as we were hoping, for Australia and Switzerland, as Alex and Natalie have a top 6 here at the World Championships. And counting them down, what do you think? That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, it was really close at the end, and yeah, I was happy to be here. Thank you.
Does it tell us anything, Hannah, for what we should expect in the next couple of days? Other than we know Max is the guy to beat.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the weather, or the temperatures will be different tomorrow because we will race a little later, so there will be no sun. But yeah, we will see. Of course, the top nations are in front.
So waiting for some highlights and some interviews. You're going to have a lot of very excited athletes down below. A new feature, in case you're just turning in, is part of our world feed. We get to hear from these athletes, which is a lot of fun. So it takes a little bit of time to corral them as all of their families are on hand. That's another cool thing about this. I'm not sure about Max, but I met Julia's parents yesterday, so they've made the trip from Dresden all the way to Whistler, so that's very exciting for them to watch their...
I saw Max dad as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So excellent. Yeah, that's great.
That's really great.
So Einars Fogelis, president of the International Luge Federation, passing out. 3rd place, David Glacier, Madeline Egla, Austria, number 2. 2nd place, Emily Sweeney and Johnny Gustafson. For Emily, that's her 2nd career World Championship medal. Johnny, it's a first all time on the podium at the World Championships, I believe. Perhaps the team relay. I'll have to go back into the records. And Max Langenhahn and Julia Tobits, another day, another week, another stuffed animal.
Yes. This year, like the past years, we always get the stuffed animals. Sometimes they are cute.
Do you keep your stuffed animals? That's a lot to put in your luggage.
Yeah, I didn't get too many so
Okay,
far,
you got some,
but I'm sure they keep it. Some of them also already have kids at home, so I think they will be happy for that.
For sure. So we'll wait. Interviews coming up. A lot of excitement here. No historical data on this sport because it's the first time ever at the World Championships, but I think we'll be seeing more of these mixed singles and mixed doubles competitions in the years to come. Just setting the stage as we wait for interviews. Tomorrow, we're back on the air. It's 2 o'clock local time, so that will be 11 at night for those of you in Germany, as we start with our men's doubles and women's doubles, run 1, then run 2, and then the women's singles competition. And Hannah, I wish you the best of luck in tomorrow's race.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited.
Yeah, your first race back this season, and it happens to be for the World Championship. So, highlights again: in 3rd place, Austria 2, 2nd place, the United States. And you're looking at the World Championship team, no stranger to the top of the podium at the Worlds, both Max Langenhahn and Julia Taubitz. So while we get things ready at the bottom for some interviews, Kate is standing by. A reminder that Kate Hansen in the house this week here in Whistler. No live FIL studio show, but a lot of fun features as usual from Kate. So go to our YouTube FIL channel and let's go down for the interviews.
All right, Team Austria, congratulations on your bronze here at World Championships. Egla, tell me how your run was.
Well, my run was pretty okay. I'm happy with it. And I'm really happy that we made the bronze. I guess we really gave our best both, and I guess we can be really happy about this medal.
David, what is it like to race with your teammate in this new event?
Yeah, I think it's great to race together. Here it's from the same start side, so it's a little bit more the team spirit because you are together. Otherwise you're separated in the start heights. But yeah, I'm more than happy with the result now.
Amazing, congratulations guys.
A great showing for David Glacier and Madeline Egla, and we've gotten to the point now in this sport, if Austria is not on the podium, it's a major disappointment. So that is how high the standard is, as that man right there, David Glacier, adds a world championship to his Olympic medal, along with Madeline Egla.
Yeah, I'm happy that Austria is doing such a big step this year. It's really great to see.
And now they'll even get stronger with that new athlete coming back from injury to join the Austria program
Let's
by the
hope
name
so.
of Hannah Prock. Let's hear from the Americans in 2nd place.
Team USA with the silver. Johnny, is this what you imagined for the first mixed event for World Champs?
You know, I knew we were going to do well. I had Emily on the team, so I knew it was going to be good. We both laid down awesome runs, and that's all I was really hoping for, and whatever the results were is what they were, and happy to come away with the silver.
We ran it back.
We ran it back. We ran it back.
Sweeney, how was that run compared to your training?
It was pretty, I cleaned up the bottom a bit more than I have been in training, but you know, this track can be funky. I felt like I was lacking speed, so this was a good kind of confidence boost for me going into the race tomorrow.
Congratulations on silver.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Hannah, that's exactly what we were talking about. This is for a world championship, but in many ways it's to see how prepared and how well they can approach the races this weekend.
Yeah, true. Emily, we had a little chat in the gym, and she said that the speed is just not here, and I'm happy for her that the speed is back, just in the right time.
Again, for Emily, the 2nd ever World Championship medal. She took a bronze several years ago in Winterberg. The Germans, the world champions here in mixed singles. And as we get ready, Kate is trying to grab Julia and Max for the interviews.
We're almost done, then you can go get warm. All right, Team Germany, world champs, one of many medals that you guys have both won. How does it feel to be the first world champion in mixed single?
Yeah, really beautiful. I had not the best run, but it's such nice to stand at the top at the podium.
And Max, for you, blazing run, you were 3/10 ahead. I don't know if you knew, now you know. How does your run feel going from the lower start?
I think it was like the 110% run from the start with the first pedal to the end. I think I could be a bit later to going to the touchpad, but in the end, if you're saying 3/10, then I'm super happy.
Again, congratulations, world champions, mixed singles.
Again, our congratulations. Team Germany over USA and Austria here in the first ever World Championship mixed singles competition. So Hannah, again, the best of luck to you tomorrow. Great job commentating.
Thank you so much. I was a little nervous, but it was fun.
I hope you had fun. Yeah, that is great. So that's Hannah Prock, Team Austria, and that will wrap up an exciting first day of competition here with 3 nations on the podium over the 2 races. Our congratulations to all of the athletes making it down and providing excitement for all of the luge fans. And our thanks to our FIL television crew for the great pictures and the great sound. We continue the World Championships tomorrow. Don't go away. Much more fun is in store. So until then, I'm Tim Singer. Thanks for joining us.